talking about the sculptor Rachel Whiteread and how her work transforms our relationship with space, memory, and presence. Whiteread is best known for her unusual technique. She casts the negative space around or inside objects. That might sound abstract, but it's actually very emotional and grounded in everyday life. She captures what's left behind: empty rooms, forgotten furniture, the outlines of things no longer used or even demolished. Her art challenges us to think about memory, home, and what it means to make absence visible. Let's explore how her work does that and why I think it's so compelling. Instead of sculpting what's visible, Whiteread sculpts what's left behind. One of her early and iconic works, Ghost, is a plaster cast of the inside of an entire room. You're not seeing the room itself, you're seeing the space that once held people, furniture, and life. Her work often starts with ordinary things: a bed, a hot water bottle, a bookshelf. But by casting the inside or underside of them, she transforms them into monuments of absence. It's a complete reversal of traditional sculpture, which normally celebrates form and presence. Whiteread's focus is what's no longer there, but still deeply felt. Whiteread uses materials like concrete, resin, plaster, and rubber, materials we associate with buildings, toughness, even coldness. But in her hands, these materials capture deeply intimate, fragile moments. For example, when she casts a mattress or a staircase, the result feels both heavy and quiet, like a fossilized trace of human life. She often works by creating a mold of the interior space, pouring in the material, and removing the outer shell. The result is a solid ghost of what used to be. Her technical process reinforces the themes of permanence, emptiness, and memory in her work. Whiteread's work also functions as memorial, and not just in a symbolic way. Her Holocaust memorial in Vienna is a concrete cast of a library's interior, its spines turned inward, unreadable. It's meant to represent the untold stories and erased lives of Jewish communities. But it also does something deeper. It makes the void of that loss feel physical. Some critics, like Paul Harrison, say Whiteread's work isn't just about remembering, it's about how we fail to remember, and how memory is always incomplete. Her use of solid materials like concrete makes this tension between permanence and loss feel real and heavy. Rachel Whiteread was the first woman to win the Turner Prize in 1993, and she's been a major voice in British sculpture ever since. Her identity plays a role in her subject matter. She often focuses on domestic spaces: homes, beds, bathtubs. These everyday objects take on emotional and symbolic meaning when cast in her style. She doesn't use her identity as a banner, but it informs her work through the kinds of spaces and objects she elevates. By giving importance to what's usually overlooked, she challenges traditional ideas of what should be remembered or celebrated. One of Whiteread's most famous and controversial works is House, a concrete cast of the interior of a Victorian house in East London. It was enormous and powerful, a full-scale memory of a home that was about to be demolished. The sculpture itself was torn down just weeks after it was completed. Some people hated it, others loved it, but everyone talked about it. It raised questions about what we value, what we erase, and what stories buildings hold. It showed how art in public space can both provoke and preserve, even if the work itself disappears. Whiteread's sculptures aren't loud, but they linger. There's something emotionally haunting about her work. She doesn't give us a narrative or a figure to interpret. She gives us a space and lets us fill in the rest. Her work depends on the viewer's own memories and emotional response. Standing in front of one of her pieces feels like being in a place you've left behind or forgotten. Her art is about psychological space as much as physical space. That emotional subtlety is what makes her work stick with you long after you've seen it. What resonated most with me is how she shows that emptiness isn't nothing. It's full of emotion. Her work changed how I think about memory, especially how space holds the people and stories that were once there. Sometimes we are quick to judge someone's art without grasping the full meaning of the work. Personally, I like work like Whiteread's that makes you question the intention and meaning behind it.